You know, to be honest, I'm getting kind of tired of these liberals, the Democrats right now. They all they like I was saying the other day, it's nothing but negativity coming out of these people, out of the politicians, out of the people on X, the libs on YouTube. It's all the same thing. Negativity. They offer no solutions. They talk about how he's a Putin puppet, or how come he don't ever talk. He said bad things about everybody under the sun except Putin, one person. That's total garbage because he doesn't say anything bad about Xi Jinping either. And they say it's because he likes strongman. Well, can anybody honestly remember a time when a U.S. president badmouthed a Russian president, other than Biden, who we know had dementia? And on top of that, look at the consequences. Look where it got us. We're in this is a World War One scale war that is at a stalemate. And honestly, the only thing that broke the stalemate of World War One, the only thing that kept the Allies from losing, because the Russians lost, so they transferred 500,000 Germans to the Western Front, and they were going to destroy the Allies until we sent 2 million soldiers over. That's what stopped the Germans. That's what ended that war. They didn't have, and right now, we're not sending 2 million people. Nobody is. The Europeans don't have it. And there's no new technology that we can pull out of our butts and, just win the war for. It's not happening. But, all this, all these things that they're bitching about are literally caused by them. They're caterwauling and gnashing their teeth over deportations. Excuse me, but who was it that opened the border and warmly greeted 12, and matter of fact, not even that, not even just passively let them in, they actively flew them into the country at midnight to all over the country, all these cities, and what amounted it to at least 12 million. That's what we know about. 12 million people. They and of course these other countries emptied their jails and insane asylums. Who wouldn't do that? If you're a small country and you're having trouble with that stuff, and there's a magnet that will a country that's a magnet that will suck, all your criminals will gladly leave. It's like your society would be transformed. So of course they did that. Of course they would have been stupid not to take advantage of the situation. And we see the crime statistics there going down. But if we wouldn't have this problem if Joe Biden hadn't had the last 4 years to rampage like Godzilla through our country. A dementia-ridden Godzilla with radical liberal lunatics, just like Trump says, in that Oval Office. They were nutcases. Nutcases. They had a thief cross-dresser running disposal of nuclear waste. They had cringe Jean-Pierre as the press secretary, who just lied profuse. It was nothing but it was how can we screw the American people as absolutely much as we can in 4 years. So all the bitching they're doing is due to the fact that they voted Biden in. It would not be happening today if Donald Trump won in 2020. It would not be happening. There would be no deportations because the 12 million people wouldn't have. And the fact of the matter is, 12 million people that come in over a couple years, we don't have the ability to absorb that many. That's like the city I live in. That's like 12 cities I live in. It's not a small city. They just and that's just who they know about. All these hospitals are like California. They're $3.5 billion short for their state funded health care. Because of all the people they let in. Our services can't do it. We're borrowing $3 billion a day. $3 billion a day. So, and they're whining about Elon Musk. Elon Musk has to cut $3 billion a day, and that's just on interest. That's on. We pay $3 billion a day on interest. And he has to cut $3 billion a day just to pay for interest. He's not even reforming systems. That's just to service our debt. And they're complaining. It's like, I no longer attribute this to incompetence. They truly want this place to crash and burn. They want us to suffer, and they want to, they want to remake it, after it crashes and burns is what they want. They think that they have to destroy this place because they can't bring it down any other way. They can't reform it. They got to destroy it and then start with a commune or whatever. But $3 billion a day in servicing our debt. $3 billion a day. And they're concerned about $100 billion. That's a drop in the bucket. We spend 3% of that a day. And they're upset. They're upset about $100 billion. Oh my God! Or he cut $50 billion in U.S. aid. Oh my God! Well, I don't see them running around with their hair on fire over the $3 billion going out the door to nothing that could be going to citizens, that could be going to back in people's pockets, that could be paying for better military equipment, that could be paying for better infrastructure. They don't give a rat's behind about us. They do not, and they can't claim to anymore, because they aren't for solutions either. They're not. Oh, hey, you could cut here, Elon. You could cut there. This. They did say the Pentagon, but not because they actually wanted him to cut the Pentagon, but because they thought Republicans would never cut the Pentagon. And it's like, promises. Hell yeah, they went right for it. And it's a total joke. It's despicable that what these people are doing. He's trying to fix this massive amounts of damage that Biden did in the last 4 years, blowing out the deficit after COVID. When COVID was over, it was done. And then he gives hundreds of billions to big tech for what? So they'll make chips. Giving money to companies doesn't do anything but allow them to pocket more salaries. If you want them to build, that doesn't motivate them to innovate and build. You have to give them tax incentives. Like like Bernie Sanders keeps saying, "Oh, tax cuts for the billionaires. Trump and Elon just want to give tax cuts to the billionaires." First of all, they're not cutting stuff to give their friends money. All their friends are billionaires. What do they need the money for? They don't need the money. They're cutting it so the country doesn't go down in insolvency. And they seem to think that they're cutting this so that they can give the money away, because that's what they would do. All Democrats can do is offer goodies to people to get them to vote for them. And they're complaining about Elon Musk making cuts, and he's just trying to keep us out of bankruptcy. And all this is caused by them. All of it. Biden let in millions of unknown people, murderers, maybe rapists. We know that these illegals are capable of it. Lake and Riley, Jocelyn Ngari, do these people ring a bell? They were killing and raping innocent girls and women. Well, and they're not offering solutions. They do not want to be a part of the solution at all. They want to be, and their voters explain that in this last poll. They don't want, it's a complete flip from the first term. In the first term, they wanted the Democrats to work with Trump to get stuff done. Now they don't want them to work with Trump. They want them to hold the line. Well, the thing is, the line is destroying our country. So you're telling your politicians to actively destroy the country. And I'm getting so sick of all this garbage, all these predictions. Democrats, they go to their they go economist shopping or judge shopping. They go find an economist that hates Trump like they do. They get that economist to make predictions that show a downturn or show that Trump's policies will negatively affect us. They put it on a fancy graphic, and then they say, "See, look what Trump is. We're going to be desperate. We're going to be suffering in a few years." And down in fine print, it says forecast, or and it's like most people, they don't critically think. They don't look at these things and ask, okay, what is the goal of this? How are they manipulating me? They don't actually think through this stuff. A lot of people, they don't have the time to necessarily. And just the predictions and the forecast, that's all Democrats have right now. It's 50 days into Trump's his term. We're still in Biden territory. We're still mopping up after Biden. So all they have is forecasts. And it's garbage. Nobody knows what's going to happen. No economists know what's going to happen. We could be attacked by terrorists tomorrow, and then, like what happened to George Bush, that totally that totally changed his entire presidency, on a dime. So I'm so tired of these predictions. They have nothing. They actually don't have anything to complain about. He hasn't done anything yet. Except clean up the mess that they have made and perpetuated. And it's just I'm working overtime on X to debunk the bullshit that all these liberal influencers and liberal commentators and just liberal, social justice warriors put on X. It's all predictions. I mean, I shoot them down left and right. I get people liking them and reposting them. And I know they're excellent takedowns, but it's like you can only, like people talking about Conor McGregor and how they're ashamed of Conor McGregor. And I'm thinking, honestly, I would have thought it was the other way around. That Conor McGregor's ashamed of Ireland, because they're a pretty sad sight at the moment, honestly. And they don't really contribute to anything. They just complain. They just complain is all they do. They don't have any solutions for anybody. They don't try to help. They're in it for themselves, more or less. And it really bothers me how their attacks are spurious and pathetic. It takes, a 5-year-old with critical thinking skills could shoot these things down. They're so pathetic. But there's only so many people out there with the time to go through these, and that are, they have enough meat on the bone to really stick it to the person that posted it. And it's just, them being this opposition party that has nothing good to say. The Wall Street Journal has nothing but negativity now. I mean, the media is nothing but nitpicking, Monday morning quarterbacking, jumping to conclusions. Like, remember with Zelensky at the White House? They freaked out, and then a week later he gets the deal. So they freaked out for that week and just screamed to the high heavens for nothing. Lathered everybody up, got everybody frothing at the mouth for nothing. And I just wish they would shut the hell up and sit down. Okay, hold your line, but keep your mouth closed while you do it, please. It's just, it's so ridiculous. I mean, he's done nothing that's really worthy of attacking. I mean, I've seen some conservatives, upset about the Houthis thing and the Iran comment by Trump, but Iran is like a shell. I mean, I think Israel would whip their ass in a straight up fight. So I just don't see us getting into a long, protracted war, or even an honest to God war with them. But this is just me ranting. I'm just about had it up to here with the stupidest conclusions, the stupidest arguments, the straw man arguments, the garbage. And not only that, but the Hamas, or October 7th wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't be having all these pro Palestine, pro Hamas protesters and their tentafadas all over the place. They wouldn't be out protesting, and people wouldn't be getting deported because of those protests. Is what I mean. Jews wouldn't be being scared by these protests. All of this traces directly back to Democrats. Directly back to Democrats. Remember, they were complaining about the price of eggs. The price of eggs goes down, and then they start coming up with conspiracy theories about people smuggling eggs from Mexico. Or they just bury it all together. Gas is down. It's at a 4-year low right now. They don't say a word about that. It's at a 4-year low, lower than any time Biden had it. Eggs are down like 20% or something. They don't talk about that. They bitch about it until it's gone, until it's fixed, then they move on. And they were just doing this. Trump said on day one he was going to fix blah, blah, blah. He starts fixing it. They move on. And it's just like, dude, how many times do you have to get proved wrong and shut down within 24 hours of you complaining until you just take a wait and see attitude like Bill Maher? Because this whole letting him, drive you nuts every time he speaks, which is every single day, 10 times. It's 50 days in. They're going to have to slow way down, or they're going to be committing. They're going to be giving revolvers and shotguns blowjobs halfway through this thing. I mean, I don't see how these people are going to make it 4 years. How are they going to survive at this fever pitch level? Anyhow, that's my rant for the morning. Y'all take her easy. Enjoy your day.